Some countdown stories are born great, some achieve greatness, and some are just handed to me by my radio partner, Dan Patrick. Our number one story tonight, you've heard of People Magazine's Sexiest People issue, and maybe even about FHM's 100 Sexiest Women, which the dubious honor of being last, number 100, went to an actress named Josie Moran. Perhaps inspired by all that, who wants to be last on the sexiest list? The editors of Boston's well-respected alternative newspaper, The Phoenix, created their own list, the 100 unsexiest men in the world. Dan Patrick gave me a copy. The winner or loser, number one, the voice of the Aflac duck, Gilbert Gottfried. Some of the other key selections, Don Imus at number 10. A Boston Phoenix staffer explaining, quote, "It would be like having sex with an old leather bag, but not in a good way." Nick Nolte at number 45, yes, but if they had relied totally on this mugshot, he could have been in the top 10. Carrot Top at 16, easily. Dr. Phil at number 4, the explanation, because being a bald-headed know-it-all is never sexy. There are various picks from the past, too. Leif Garrett, 46, Art Garfunkel, 80, Joey Buttafuoco, 75. Humor apparently is not necessarily sexy anymore. Chris Kattan, 31. Horatio Sands, 96, from Saturday Night Live, along with Larry David at 38 and Dennis Miller at 64. There are some surprises, sort of. Brad Pitt at number 100, but we're not sure. Does that mean he's the least sexy or the least sexy? Jose Canseco, 91, among sports figures. We're saying this line on The Surreal Life, quote, "Every time I have tried to help a woman, I've been incarcerated." I think you'd get better props for that. Then there are a few TV hosts. My old classmate Bill Maher at 62. He can take some solace in this. He's 4 points behind Ted Baxter himself. Bill Jensen is the associate editor of the Boston Phoenix. It's his name atop the list. It was published earlier this month. Thanks for your time tonight, sir.
How you doing, Keith?
Let's begin with our favorite guy, Mr. O'Reilly. Why him, and why is he sandwiched between Ed O'Neill and Clay Aiken?
Well, the first thing about Bill O'Reilly is I don't think it was the splotchiness. I think what it came down to was the bullying. The bullying of the guests, bullying of the callers, threatening them with Fox security to come to their houses for mentioning a certain competitor's name, that kind of thing. And I think the whole falafel incident really didn't help him very much. I think anytime you're going to, talk to a woman on the phone and say you want to rub her with a sandwich full of chickpeas in the shower is not going to help your sexual quotient. So he's on the list, and he might even be a little bit too low or high on the list, depending on your thoughts on him.
Is there anything he can do to improve or disimprove his chances? Can he move up or down depending on something else happening?
I think if he just went away, it would sort of push him away on the list, but I don't think he's going away anytime soon, or at least until the next election. So, once we open this up to the public, I think he'll probably move up closer to the top 20.
Don't ever suggest that he's going away. We need him here. What was obviously most of this is tongue-in-cheek, but what was your criteria for it? This is not simply a scale of ugliness, correct?
No, it was a scale of unsexiness, and what it was really it's pop culture satire. The FHM list had came out about a day before we put this together, and we saw that Scarlett Johansson was on the top of the list. It was the most viewed story on Yahoo, the most emailed story, and we said, these lists are getting a little bit out of control. I think Jessica Alba was named Sexiest Woman about 2 weeks earlier by another magazine, so we just wanted to spin it on its head, and we sent out a bunch of emails to people on the staff and friends of people on the staff, and it just sort of grew through there. But what it came to be was it's not ugliness, it was unsexiness.
Right.
Who you would least like to be in bed with. And once we got everybody's answers and nominations and things like that, it was up to me and one of my staffers, Ryan Stewart, to compile it and write little blurbs about it and things like that.
A lot of politicians, a lot of political wannabes on this. Let's go through a couple of them. Joe Lieberman is at 60, Newt Gingrich is at 55, Ashcroft 68, Ralph Nader 94. And sad to say here, generally speaking, bald guys don't fare well either. So why was it that Dick Cheney was left off this list, is not on the Unsexy 100?
Dick Cheney was on the list until the very end. We had created a preliminary list, sent it out to a lot of the people that had done the nominations, and some people came back and said a lot of women, not them, but a lot of women do find Dick Cheney sexy. He's a bad boy. He's shooting people in the face. He's the guy with the real power in the country. He's got that sort of a smirk on his face. I guess some women do find it sexy.
And he's got a lot of heart, or at least many of them.
Yeah.
Which name has gotten the most response?
America loves Clay Aiken, and his fans, God love them, love to use the internet are very interesting spellers, and they like to throw the odd curse word now and again. But Clay Aiken definitely got the biggest response. Also, Chad Kroeger, the lead singer from Nickelback, apparently his fans don't really care that the music's not very good, but they were very upset that we called him unsexy.
What about Gilbert Gottfried? What did he do to get, I mean, of all the people to come out number one, why Gilbert Gottfried?
You know, I think what it came down to at the very end was asking women who they would least like to be in bed with, and I think The Voice might have had something to do with it. Maybe the whole duck thing had something to do with it. I feel bad. I love Gilbert, but unfortunately, you know, somebody had to end up at number one, and it's Gilbert.
You don't hear that a lot, do you? Somebody had to end up at number one. It was him. Well, Bill Jensen, associate editor for the Boston Phoenix, co-writer of the 100 Unsexiest Men in the World list. Great thanks for leaving me off of it, and great thanks for joining us tonight.
Thanks, Keith. As always, next year.
That's what I'm afraid of.